Hey folks, good morning. It's Monday, January 13th, 2020, and I wanted to talk just a little bit about geese. I was watching a really nice video on a great channel by a local farmer named Josh Sattin. He's about an hour and a half south of me down in Raleigh, North Carolina, but he has several nice videos, but one he was talking about his guardian goose, Larry, and what jumped out at me was, it's a really good video, like there's a lot of good content in it, so I recommend it if you're thinking about geese. But one of the things that jumped out was he talked about how much feed Larry ate. After consulting with the hatchery that he got him from, Metzger's, they said he would eat around 1 3/4 to 2 pounds of feed a day, and that just sounded like a lot to me. And so I just want to talk about how that is definitely not my experience. I've got 16 geese, and I never think of them as being heavy feed users. They just, now our context is different, so everybody's the same, so I'm not knocking on Josh, but I just wanted to share our experience. We have a lot of space for the geese to roam, and I put out chick feed and mixed grains for them, so it's usually sunflower seeds, corn and wheat for them every day. They have 1, 2, 3 bowls that I fill with that they share with the ducks. So there's 16 geese and 30 plus ducks, and I fill those bowls up every day, every other day, because often at night there'll still be stuff left over because everybody just runs out and forages a lot. So if you have the room for them to forage, I really think that you should. Let me flip the camera around, and I'll show you the ducks at work and the geese at work, and I'll talk a little bit about them. And also, I have a iceberg lettuce head here that I'm going to offer to the geese at some point during this video, and they're going to get super loud. But I didn't have an apple. They love apples. But I just kind of wanted to talk about, their, I don't know. I like my geese a lot. I'm not saying that other folks don't, but geese typically have a bad reputation. But I've got 16 of them, so I must like them. And what's her name? The young lady on Instagram, I think Kirsten Lie-Nielsen. Or is that the former Secretary of Homeland Security? Gosh, I can't remember. Sorry. But anyhow, she has a great book on Homestead geese. It was probably the second book I read after Holderread's Guide to Waterfowl, which is definitive Bible kind of reference on that. Followed probably by Harvey, Ussery's Small Backyard Flocks. But anyhow, let me flip the camera around, and I'll show you and talk a little bit about the geese. Behold my geese. No, I'm kidding. That would be funny though if I was like, yeah, these are geese. No, these are the guineas running around out here in the orchard that we're building. So there's the ducks at work on a paddock that I've broken down. They're going to stay out here for a while. There's other ducks elsewhere all around the farm in little cliques. They used to all stick together. They've broken up into a couple little groups, but you don't have ones and twosies. They all stick together, but this is most of their day. They're out here rummaging around for bugs and roots and slugs and snails and pill bugs and worms and greenery. This is what the ducks do most of their day, and the geese do the same thing. Hi, Wheezies! All right, so let me go ahead and get this over with. We'll go ahead and offer them, because people are like, oh, geese are mean. You guys see? Hey, Margot. Linus! Linus just scared the crap out of everybody with a rooster call. I don't know what he saw. Hi, Wheezies! Okay, come on back. Goose, goose, goose! It's gonna get loud again, and then I'll step away from them and talk about it. Come on, Margot! Hi, baby! Okay, so I've got 16 geese. I've got brown and white Chinese. I've got an Emden. I've got tufted Roman. I have French Toulouse. I have American Cotton Patch. I have American Buff. I have Saddleback Pomeranian. And I have 2 mixes that were born here on the farm. I had 2 ganders, Tex, our American Cotton Patch Goose, and Fritz, our Pomeranian gander. Last year was hatched on the farm. Easter, who is a French Toulouse Cotton Patch mix. I have to get a little closer. Usually I can recognize Easter by his eye color. I think that may be Easter, or this may be Easter. That's a little more yellow than orange, but I'm not sure. That might also be Dorothy. Hi, Dorothy. Hi. Hello. I'm sorry. I don't have anything else. Hi. Do you want me to get you some? Hi, Anita. All right, let me get you some. Hi, Wheezies. Can I have some of this to share? Please. Okay. There you go. There's a treat for y'all. Hey, come here, babe. All right, good goose gang, come over here. Bad geese, stay over there. Come on. Hi, Anita. There you go. Go ahead. Fritz. Emma. Hi, Sophia. What is it? What is it, Aniko? Oh my God. Too cute. Okay, so yeah, so I just went through the breeds. I'll step away now because I know they're extremely loud. So a couple things. Our geese don't attack us. During mating season, which is coming up here mid-January, I've already seen them making efforts to do the deed. But during mating season, the ganders can get a little testy. Tex, flapping his wings there, hisses at me during mating season, but that's the only time of year he does it. And I'm not afraid of him. I'm just cautious. I'll tell you what, if you ever pick up a goose and you're not careful, like secure their wings on their back, they can absolutely flap those wings. And you want to talk about something with a lot of force. I mean, Tex flapped me in the nose last year and I thought he about broken my nose. I mean, they have tremendous power in their wings. It doesn't just have to be a male, it can be a goose as well. Ganders and geese, very, very powerful wings. There's Margot. Love her with her little mohawk. She's a French Toulouse with a mohawk. All our birds are from commercial hatcheries. They are from either, well, not all of them. So they're all from either Meyer Hatchery or Ideal Poultry or the 2 Cotton Patch geese, since that's such an unusual and unique breed, critically endangered. We got them from a local breeder here in Virginia. If I were to buy geese and I had a much bigger budget, I would add more from Apricot Valley Waterfowl up in Canada. Colin and his family are doing amazing work breeding and preserving historic breeds, but also like less obscure stuff, but just there. I mean, chef's kiss, mwah, just the best. So if you can afford to order from them or arrange a pickup at the Ohio National Poultry Show in October, or head up to Buffalo on the border, you can pick up an order from them. But anyhow, so people have stories about being attacked by geese. I've never been attacked by our geese. I'm a first-time goose owner. I've had most of these kids for 1 to 2 years. I originally got them as guardian geese, which is a function that they still perform, but I'd kind of broken all the flocks into like the French and German breeds. I'll match up with a French Toulouse goose, and the American chicken breeds I'll match up with the Cotton Patch geese and all that. And I originally only had 3 geese. And then we wound up, Margot developed a bowed leg, and we thought, we weren't sure she was going to make it or if we could fix that and how it would impact her career with us. So I wound up ordering another one from Meyer, but you can't order just one. There's usually a minimum. So anyhow, it just kind of spiraled out of control from there. Now I've got 16 geese. I would love to get maybe 20 or 21 total. Just depends on breed availability. But they do not eat a lot of our feed. I do not consider them a big drain on the feed bill. They come out here, it's, you know, early January, we're in Virginia Zone 7B. We have a lot of greenery out right now still, so my situation could be different from your situation. Most of them, if I have to, I can pick them up. I might need to corner them, and I would recommend wearing long sleeves, not a t-shirt, and probably gloves, not because they're gonna bite you or tear at you, but attack you, but in their desire to get away. Let me tell you what, those feet have some claws on them that are, I mean, like talons. Same thing with the ducks, actually. The ducks are quite sharp too, but I've never been afraid of the geese trying to hurt me. They're curious about me. Hi, Ben. Hi, Emma. I'll step away again because I know you can't hear me when they're here. Hi, kids. Hi, Easter. Hi, noobs. Hi, Anika. Hi, baby. Hi. I'm sorry I don't have any more treats. Hi, babe. Gladys. Gladys, what are you doing back there? Hi, Fritz. Watch me get like mauled on camera after just talking about how they're perfectly fine animals. So I'll step away again. Sorry, that's a terrible thing to do. But I like them a lot. They are seasonal layers of very large eggs. So spring, late January through spring, you know, March, April is usually like around tax day is when I think I was getting the last of my eggs last year. They're beautiful, gigantic eggs. Bakers tend to like them quite a bit because they have a lot of the albumin, so you can get really moist and delicious baked goods with them. Sorry. And you should know that geese live for decades, naturally. So you're looking at least a 10-year commitment. You know, if things go well, it could be as long as 2 to 3 decades. You know, if you watch our channel and you follow me on social media, we don't process any of our birds. They all have lifetime employment here. I enjoy them for who they are and what they bring to my farm. And yeah. So it's a commitment. I'm 45 next month, so hopefully I and these geese will be together into my 80s. My kids will be able to meet them if we ever have kids, and you know, they're just really neat beings. They don't really get cold, certainly not around here. You don't have to worry. I mean, they have a house sheltering for geese. If you have a barn, is great. I have some different houses that I've probably showed in other videos of them. I'm getting ready to build a goose and duck barn. That is my next big project. I'll tell you what, they are super destructive on plants and trees if you have them. For a while I let them roam in the garden and they just girdled like a bunch of the little fruit trees that I was espaliering, and here they are now. They're very interested in this blueberry bush that I just planted. Thank you, ladies, appreciate that. Anyhow, sorry, I'm kind of rambling. I didn't have a big plan for this. I just wanted to talk about it. But I am very pro geese. If you have questions, let me know. Post them in the comments or hunt me down on Facebook or Instagram at Broad Shoulders Farm. Happy to talk about our experience with them. You know, they're pretty good mothers. You know, like I said, we were able to hatch 2 here on the farm, and I kind of let them have this big clutch. And if I had to do it over, I would do a lot more planning. They will nibble on everything. They've torn apart tarps that I have. They've torn apart lawnmower covers that I've gotten. They clearly love grasses, which is why I started planting so much more out here. They love coming out here and the forage. Geese are strictly vegetarians. You know, they're not omnivores like the chickens, and even the ducks. You know, ducks will eat frogs and mice. If they get really curious, they will vacuum up slugs. The geese are pretty much strictly herbivores. They are not interested in If I bring them like a bag of mealworms that the other poultry are like, yay, geese, zero interest in it. They're not going to eat slugs and worms like the ducks and the chickens after a rainstorm. They are all about the veggies, which actually makes it kind of cool. I mean, one of my strategies for the years ahead for feeding them is growing lots and lots of different greens out here. I've got some historic varieties of kale that I'm planting this year, like 1,000 head kale from Ireland and walking stick kale from the United Kingdom. I can't remember if it's Wales or what, but trying to get them year-round, especially good greens in the winter. When we look at them, these are plum tree seedlings or shoots. This is an old plum tree, and you can see there's lots of these plum tree plants everywhere. But I mean, Annika there is just stripping. You know, look, she took the top off that little plum tree. Hi! I didn't plant that, so I'm not upset about it. But they will definitely do some stuff. I consider them the heavy crew if I need to go in and really kind of knock back some stuff. They move in, and you know, the average goose, like the lighter ones, are like maybe 9 pounds, like for Bay, who's a very small brown Chinese goose. Emma, maybe the same, 9 to 10. You get up to the French Toulouse, and again, ours are from a hatchery, so they're maybe 12 to 15 pounds. I mean, if you were to get like a really professional exhibition quality or even just a really good utility quality French Toulouse, they'd be much lower to the ground. They'd have a giant dewlap. They'd weigh like as much as a turkey. You know, I have a mix of smaller breeds and larger breeds. I'd like to add an African here at some point, or even a super African, but we'll see what happens with that. I feel like I'm rambling, so I guess I will stop. Those are the most things I guess I want to say about them right now. If you're interested in the geese, I can do a longer, more formal video and talk about them. But I'm very pro geese. It's a big commitment. We worked with ours since they were little, and they don't attack us. They don't attack anybody else. They do a great job as guardian geese. I think I'd said originally, you know, originally I had them integrated with each of the different flocks of chickens, and eventually I decided that wasn't going to work for a couple reasons. One, the chickshaws that we have this 1-inch metal flooring so that waste drops through in the night. I've seen other people keep their geese in those. That's totally fine. I just didn't think it was super great for their feet. I didn't think that the geese would like that, even though it's just overnight sitting. You know, the chickens have roosts in those Justin Rhodes style chickshaws. They can perch up in there and sit on the roosts. The geese don't really roost. They just kind of hunker. So I didn't like that. Same reason I don't put ducks in a chickshaw either. I think it's great for chickens, not good for the others. But also, since I rotate, you know, our flocks around, we move them around. To keep the geese happy, I would need to bring them buckets of water or bowls of water, tubs of water everywhere so they can get in some swim time. If you have waterfowl like ducks and geese, they don't have to have a pool, but they absolutely love it. And I think it's really important for their quality of life. So over in their permanent paddock on the other side of that honeysuckle stand there, we've got a couple different tanks and things for them to swim in, and I worked on building them a little natural pond, but they've got room to do it. It's really important for their cleaning regimen. They also would need a deep bowl to drink from, because they you know, if you have like nipple waterers or something for your chickens, that's not going to work for the geese. They need to be able to submerge their head, especially up to their nostrils, because that's how they breathe and clear their mouths after eating. So having a deep bowl is really important. But I just decided to let them start free ranging, and they started out, you know, and I was really apprehensive, and now I feel pretty good about having them up here. But I remember talking to that young lady, Kirsten, who wrote the book on the homesteading geese, and I asked her, you know, what her experience was with predators, because she lives in a probably an even more rural place with different predators. And she talked about how she has, in her experience, felt like there's, at a certain point, there's like a tipping point with geese where you just get so many that most other animals are like, nuts to this, I'm gonna leave everybody up here alone because the geese can raise holy hell. And I don't want to jinx it. She pegged that number at about 13. I'm over that by 3, and they do a nice job. You know, I've never seen them fight a predator, and I hope I will never have to, but we haven't lost any geese to predators. And, you know, they're quite scary when they're upset or when they're trying to defend something. What else did I want to say about them? They're very clean. They keep themselves warm. They swim, you know, even in the middle of winter when it's icy. If you break up the ice in the pond, they'll hop in. They don't, you know, they're not going to get cold. You just need to make sure they have shelter outside of the wind and some dry bedding, and they are happy, happy, happy. I know I've tried to wrap this up like 2 or 3 times, so I think I will. Okay. I told you where you can ask questions if you need to get in touch with me. I hope that if you are thinking about adding geese but you're on the fence, I hope that my experience has helped you out a little bit. I'm happy to answer additional questions about them. I am very pro geese. There's some beautiful breeds out there. And again, when you think about they're going to be your friend, your farm friend for decades potentially, you know, it's a serious commitment. But I don't know. We love them. We're very pro geese. All right. Have a great day. Happy New Year. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.